Hey, what's going on, guys? BSB here, and I kind of have a long commentary. I have a lot of things I want to talk about, a lot of things I want to get through in this video, so I picked a longer one. Hope you would enjoy. It is a flawless gameplay. So, let's start off. There was a lot of news released about Call of Duty this past Sunday, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and Game Informer released an article, about a 12-page article. Most of the stuff we already know about, but there are a few notable exceptions that I want to mention in this video and talk about and give my thoughts. So, first things first, they said in the article, they kind of quoted something that Sledgehammer said that there will be things in this new game that will affect all game modes in multiplayer. So basically, I mean, they said this was supposed to be the most ambitious Call of Duty to date, and they're coming through with it. That wasn't just a bluff. They intend to actually change a lot of things, and let's see. I hope that this makes the game more fun and spices it up a bit. So what we know is a lot of the powers or abilities of the exoskeleton suit. We can kind of have an idea of what it does based off the trailer. Like for instance, you know, you can jump high, you get super strength, but they have a list of abilities that you can use it for in campaign, and most likely this stuff will end up coming to multiplayer. So, first thing, the ability to boost dodge towards cover. So you know how you can dolphin dive in a Treyarch game, you know, or you can slide in COD Ghost to cover. So this is going to be, I assume, something similar to that. You get like some type of thruster or I don't know, fire or something like that, and it just kind of like pushes you to cover, forces you into cover. It sounds kind of cool. It's nothing too crazy. We've kind of seen it before in other games, but it'll look a little differently. It seem a little cooler since you know you're kind of like a robot now or something like that. So yeah, that's the first thing. You can boost dodge towards cover. Uh, we know that you can jump high, so they said that you can jump to elevated positions on the map. That sounds kind of interesting. You know, you might not need things to make you climb up ladders faster or anything like that if you can just kind of jump up things and stuff like that. So we'll see how that's or if that's executed in multiplayer. Third thing, you can climb buildings with the gloves. We saw that in the trailer right at the end. There was a guy who had the magnetic gloves and he was climbing a building. I don't know if that's, I don't know how that's gonna be implemented into multiplayer. Are we gonna see a bunch of guys just crawling up buildings around the map? You know, kind of like, I don't know. That's gonna be a little crazy, but it's interesting, and it's one of the abilities of the exoskeleton suit. So that 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 could be a definite possibility for being in multiplayer. Another thing that we saw in the trailer, cloaking or invisibility. That's another one of the listed powers of the exoskeleton suit. And I said in my last commentary that things like cloaking and invisibility don't really work in multiplayer, at least in my opinion. But that's one of the powers of the suit. And if we're assuming that the other ones might be uh, going into multiplayer, then I guess it only makes sense to assume that this ability would be transferring into multiplayer. And I'm sure that if it is in multiplayer, they're not going to make it overpowered. They're not going to make it, you know, super crazy or anything like that. I mean, I hope that there are a lot of limits to what you can do with this cloaking power. And I hope that, you know, you can still kind of see the person, just like in Titanfall or when you're using the Predator suit in COD Ghost. There's a cloaking ability on the Predator suit. Uh, but you can still kind of see the person a little bit. You can see their outline, so you know maybe it won't be too bad. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it's executed, or if it's even coming to multiplayer at all. Another ability of the exoskeleton suit is the ability to hover in midair. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, you can jump to elevated positions, you can climb up walls, you can hover in midair. This is going to be like a superhero game. Imagine, just jumping on top of a building and then jumping from that building, hovering in air into, to another building. I mean, is this even Call of Duty? When are you going to use your gun to shoot people? I mean, that's kind of interesting though. I'm kidding. That's kind of interesting. That sounds kind of fun. I mean, imagine jumping up on top of a building, hovering in midair, and then dive kicking somebody in the face with that new dive kick ability or stomp ability, air stomp. No, that can't be, because then you can just kill people without using your gun. You can just like jump up buildings, dive kick them. I don't know. This is supposed to be the most ambitious Call of Duty game yet, but this is starting to seem like Infamous. You can hover around, and as you're getting closer to the ground, I guess, as you've been hovering for a while, you get closer and closer to the ground, so it's not overpowered, it's not flying, it's just hovering. I don't know. Those are the powers of the exoskeleton suit, and this is supposed to be the most ambitious Call of Duty yet, so let's see if all of those powers transfer into multiplayer, and let's see how they're implemented. Okay. There's another thing that we saw in the trailer, that grenade that turned everything orange. It's kind of like a surveillance grenade. It's actually called a variable grenade. So apparently, if you just use it right away, it's like a stun grenade or something like that. But if you hold it down for a little while, then it has a different effect. So it's like a variable. So it has two different things, one grenade. Kind of like the 9 bang grenade in COD Ghost. If you hold it down, it stuns people. You charge it all the way, it's an EMP. That's kind of like a variable grenade, right? It does two different things. And it's in COD Ghost, so it's nothing too crazy there, nothing too new. And it's called the variable grenade. Okay, so what I really want to talk about, what's really interesting to me, is that Call of Duty actually went and spoke with the military and like scientists and like other important people who know things, about actual technology that may be implemented in 2054. And if you guys didn't know, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare takes place in 2054, which is 24 years, um, well, which is further than Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 took place in 2025, and since my math is terrible, I'm not even gonna attempt to do that in my head. Let's see, 2054. Yeah, I'm not gonna attempt to do that. That's 30, 29, I think. All right. Uh, so yeah, what's really interesting is that this technology may actually be implemented sometime in the future. So imagine that 40 years from now, we're in 2014, 40 years from now, they may actually be exoskeleton suits that allow you to hover in midair and jump to escalated positions on the map and climb walls and give you super strength. I mean, 40 years from now, there's suits that allow you to do that. That would be amazing. And it got me thinking. I think we're living in the wrong time period because 40 years, I don't know about you guys, I'm 19 years old. 40 years from now, I'm going to be 59, and those exoskeleton suits aren't going to really be useful to me. What am I going to be able to do as an old man? That kind of sucks. I think we need to think of a way to preserve our bodies so that way we can live and be young in 2059 and enjoy all of the powers and capabilities that those exoskeleton suits are going to bring to real life. I mean, I am really jealous of the if that happens, if that ends up happening, I will be really jealous. But realistically speaking, if there were exoskeleton suits in 2054, I doubt they'd be selling them to like average everyday people. And if they were selling them to, you know, I doubt they would be affordable to average everyday people. So I guess even if I was young in 2054, I wouldn't really be able to enjoy the exoskeleton suits. Maybe in the year 3000. You know, that's why the future is so interesting. There's so much things to look forward to, and I'm just gonna be an old man by then. It's kind of sucky. But anyway, guys, the gameplay is coming to an end. I am 25 and 0. Yeah, I was going for the flawless. As you guys can see, I was clearly going for the flawless. once I realized that I'm pretty far into the game and I still haven't died yet, I started playing a little bit more reserved because I just wanted to get the flawless gameplay. It's just fun going for it sometimes, you know. So that's why I did that. And these guys were terrible. I mean, the guy above me went 47 and 7. You know, that guy. Kudos to him. He played really well. You know, I just did a nice little 25 and 0. Nothing too crazy. But that's the end of the gameplay, guys. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace. I'm out.